Hi everybody. I've had questions about how to prepare for the test, how to prepare for my tests, and so I wanted to give you some pointers. And one of the pointers is if you want to learn how to do well on a test, you need to learn how to read a textbook. Now, before I learned how to read a textbook, I'd read it just like a novel, and it's not like that. And it's definitely not like going on the internet and starting to read an article. I would get an assignment, I'd count how many pages I had to read, and then I'd just open up the textbook to the first page and start reading. And a lot of times, as I began to read, I'd realize that my eyes were just running across the lines, but I wasn't learning anything. Or I'd get to the end of the chapter and I'd realize I really didn't have any idea what I had read. I don't think students are taught often how to read a textbook. I certainly wasn't. I learned when I became a teacher and I needed to teach from the textbook what it really took to reading. So I think students they don't get much from it, and so they just leave it undone. And they hope the teacher will cover everything in class. But when you're learning a profession, like learning dental hygiene, there is no way that a teacher can cover everything that you need to know in class. You're learning what you need to know for your entire profession. And so it's important to learn to read the text so that you don't get frustrated from having low test scores. Teachers don't like low test scores either. Fortunately, reading a textbook is a skill that you can develop, and then you can be way more efficient in what you learn and how you remember things. So here's some things that I have learned about how to read a textbook since I've become a teacher, and it's going to help you learn the most efficient way. It actually saves time. When you first get a new textbook and you get your assignments, look for the table of contents first. The table of contents is divided into sections with chapters within each section. What are the names of the parts? What are the names of the titles within each section? What are the names of the individual chapters? If you know this, you're going to understand how the textbook is laid out. Now, go to the chapter that you've been assigned. What's the title of the chapter? What are the different sections? Look for some objectives. Once you find objectives, these are the points that you need to know. These are the key points the author wants you to learn in this section. If you look at the key points and you know what you're looking for, you'll recognize the important information when it comes up in your textbook. Now look through the chapter. Where are the headings? What words are in bold? Take a minute to look at the pictures. Do you have pictures with information? Do you have graphs? What are they trying to tell you? If you know all of this, you're starting to get a good idea of what you're going to learn in this chapter, and you'll be ready for it. Only now should you begin to read your textbook. You're going to read very carefully and highlight your key phrases. Take your time. If there are questions at the end of the chapter, by all means, answer the questions. If you don't know an answer, go back right then and look it up. If you still can't find the answer, make a note so that if that question is not answered for you in class, you'll know and you'll remember to get the answer for it. The textbook authors put those questions in the book or the chapter summaries in the book to make sure that you got all the key points. So take the time to take advantage of what they have given you. Now go back and look over any highlights or any notes you made for yourself, and do this one at a time for each chapter that is assigned. So then you want to know how to study. It's time for the test. What are you going to do? You're going to really remember more and spend a lot less time studying if you have a systematic way to read and get ready for each class. You need to have each piece of information come through your mind at least 3 times. So the first thing you're going to do is read your chapters, like we've just described. Then you're going to go to class, and in class, you're going to pay attention. Listen. It's going to be a whole lot easier to follow what the instructor is saying because you already have a really good grasp of the key ideas. So all you're listening for is reinforcement and clarification. Take notes. Make highlights. On that very same day, take a few minutes to look over what you've learned. If you do it the very same day, if you go home from class and within an hour or two, you take the time to take out your notes and your textbook and review. It's not going to take minutes, you but 10 or 15 minutes to go through and to look at those key points one more time. Then when test time comes around, all you have to do is review. You've already got a really good idea of what's going on in the chapter. And let's face it, this is information you're going to use for your profession. You need to know this forever. This isn't learning something abstract that you're never going to use again, that you only want to know long enough to answer the questions on the test. This is how you are going to be critiqued and judged, and how good you're going to be at what you do. So you really want it in your long-term memory. Take the time to make it easy for you to learn and for it to stay there. And I guarantee you're going to spend less time studying, less time reading, less time cramming, get more sleep, and you're going to make better test scores. So good luck. Hope this helps. Hope at least somebody takes advantage of the information and uses it. Have a great day. Bye.